Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is an updated makeup inventory video. I haven't filmed one of these in like almost 2 years and figured that since I'm kind of getting back into the swing of things of filming, this would be an interesting one to put out there to kind of see where my collection is. I feel like over the past couple years, I've done a lot in the sense of like curating exactly what I want my collection to look like right now. I feel like all the products I have, I really do like I like them and I love them, which I think is how you should feel about your makeup collection. But I feel like I had gotten things over the years and just kept them because either I had spent money on them or, well, because I did spend money on them. But some came in through BoxyCharm, which again, I spent money on. But I had picked up things and just didn't love them, but left them in my collection because I felt like I had to, but then I never used them. And so I'd always feel kind of bad decluttering, but I definitely have done some decluttering and really have just gotten down to the products that I enjoy using on a daily basis. And so with that being said, in my previous one of these videos, I did talk about like the goals of where I wanted my collection to sit. So for example, if I had like 10 eyelid primers, my goal would be 2, right? And so I'd work through 8 of them or declutter or whatever. I'm not gonna set goals this time because of the fact that I feel like goal-wise, like collection-wise, I feel like I'm in a really good spot with my numbers. However, I am going to compare my numbers to both my actual numbers last time and my goals. And then when I do this, I'd say probably like 6 months from now, I'm going to compare to where I am now, which like I'd say where I am now is like gold standard. I don't really want to see my collection get much bigger, and I don't really want to see it get much smaller. Like I like the variety that I have right now. I feel like I'm in a really good place, like in general. But of course, like my goal would obviously be to finish a lot of these products, and as I finish them and roll them out of my collection because they're empty, I would then be able to purchase new ones to take their place and try new things or repurchase like Holy Grail products. So I think obviously there's still a lot of opportunity for like changeover of products and trying new things, and certainly I'm not going to stop myself from trying something just because it might, you know, boost my collection a little bit. But I'd say overall, I think we're in a really good spot. So with that being said, if you'd like to see this video and kind of see where I stand with a very curated collection, I would like to just clarify that. Like, this is not going to be a lot of the makeup collections you probably see on YouTube where people are getting a ton of makeup on a regular basis, because like I honestly don't need that much. So yeah, again, if you want to see like a realistic curated collection, please continue watching. So I have my notebook here and I went through and counted everything and took pictures, so I'll put the pictures up on screen as I go. But the first category I have here is eye primers, and currently I have 2. And when I did this 2 years ago, I also had 2 and my goal was 2. So we're right on track in terms of that. The 2 I have are just regular like eyeshadow primers. I think when I first did this, I had an eyeshadow primer and a glitter primer. So I would say it would make sense for me to purchase a glitter primer just to have on hand and then finish up one of the eyelid primers, which the Morphe one is like getting to be almost done. But I actually moved that into like a travel bag, so I don't actually use it on a regular basis. So maybe I should pull that back out in my collection and finish that one up. Next category is face primers. So currently I have 5 face primers, and one of them is in my Project Pan, so certainly going to finish that one this year. And then when I did this 2 years ago, I had 6 and my goal was 3. I like face primer, although I will say I wouldn't mind seeing this number go down, because I don't think you need like 5 face primers. You probably just need 1 for a glowy day, 1 for a matte day, and then maybe just 1 general for moisturizing. So while 5 is good and like I'm using those, I don't know if I'd like go out and repurchase 1 as soon as I finish it up. Eyeshadow palettes, I have 11, and then when I did this previously, I had 12 and my goal was 10 to 15. So I actually really am happy with where I'm at with eyeshadow palettes. Like I mentioned, I had BoxyCharm for a while, and like every BoxyCharm, which comes every month, they were sending an eyeshadow palette, and I was just like, this is way too much. So my niece, who's started to get into makeup, I like ended up passing on like 10 palettes to her, and I've bought like a few here and there, but I feel like overall I'm very comfortable with where I sit with eyeshadow palettes. I'm constantly looking at them to see if like these are really the ones I want. I actually decluttered one recently before I started my Pan Those Eyeshadows project, so I'm feeling really good about 11 and would like to see it kind of stay around that number. For single shadows, I have 17. So when I filmed this 2 years ago, I had 16 and my goal was actually 20. I'm actually good with 17. I wouldn't mind to see that go down. Like, I really like the collection of single shadows I have. One of them is from Makeup Geek. It's in like the pan of eyeshadows in the like Z palette type thing. And that one is like actually almost gone. So I'd love to roll that out. But at the end of the day, I really like where I'm at with single shadows. I really like the different single shadows that I have. I think they're all really pretty. But I wouldn't want to see that number go up just because I don't always reach for them. I tend to gravitate more towards my palettes. And then I'm like, ugh, I need to use my single shadows because they are so beautiful and I do really like them. It's just hard to remember to do so. Does anyone else have that problem or is that just me? So my next category is eye pigments, liquids, and glitters. And so I have 6 of these. And when I filmed this 2 years ago, I had 3, but they were just pigments. And my goal was 3. So I'm actually really happy again where this one stands. I certainly don't use all of these enough as I should, just like with all my single shadows, but I do really like the variety that I have here and I have fun using them when I do. So I'm really comfortable with the 6 that I have. My next category is foundation and I have 5. 2 years ago I had 7 and my goal was 5. So again, very comfortable with 5. I recently picked up that NARS foundation. I've been like using it here and there, testing it. I have the QMS product in my project pan, hoping to roll that one out. And then I have a couple that are like halfway through. So I'm feeling really good about where I'm at with my foundation in terms of usage. And I'm also feeling good about the number that I actually have. Next is concealer. So I actually only have 1 concealer. 2 years ago I had 3 and my goal was 2. To be perfectly honest with you all, I don't really use concealer. Sometimes I put it on my under eyes, but that's really about it. And I do think I need a concealer that's like skin tone so that I can use it to cover blemishes. And maybe not even have one that's like much brighter for like my under eyes because I don't use it on a regular basis. So I would like to see that number probably stay at 1, but I think I'd like a different one than I have, but I'll use this one up and then purchase one that's more skin tone. Next is face powder. So I have 5. 2 years ago I had 3 and my goal was 5. So I'm on track with where I wanted it to be. I do really like face powders. I have 2 loose powders and then 3 pressed. I'm really excited about the Kosas Cloud Set powder that I recently picked up. So overall, I think I'm in a good spot. I have a pretty good pan on my IT Cosmetics ones. The Coty Airspun Loose Powder though, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm never gonna be able to use that up. There is so much product in there. So if anyone's ever panned that, let me know because props to you. That's amazing. Next is bronzers. So currently I have 4 bronzers. 2 years ago I had 6 and my goal was 5. I'm perfectly good with 4 bronzers. The pans on some of these are absolutely huge. I don't think I need any more. I'm currently panning the Fenty Beauty bronzer and yeah, I'm comfortable with 4. I think once I finish up the Fenty one, I'll probably pick up a new one, but I don't really need to see this category grow. Next is blush. I currently have 7 blushes. 2 years ago I had 7 and my goal was 4. So actually, I don't want to see my blush collection drop. I have a good amount of pan on several of them, to be honest, and I really like the variety of blush that I have. I would like to use up the ones that I have pan on, but I think I would repurchase a new blush once I would use one up. Next is highlight. So I have 10. 2 years ago I had 10 and my goal was 7. Again, this is kind of the same as blush. I really like highlight a lot, and so I wouldn't want to see this category go down. It's one of my favorite products. It's so fun to use. And yeah, I'm just really happy with kind of where I stand with highlight right now. So next is setting spray. I have 7 setting sprays. 2 years ago I had 5 and my goal was 5. Now, 2 of those sprays are MAC Fix Plus, which I just use to like wet my brushes when I'm working with like a pigment or a glitter. Excluding those, because they're not really used for setting, I really just have 5 and I am good with that. I do love setting sprays but I feel like I work through them pretty regularly, and I am panning one currently. And so with that mindset, you know, as I finish them up, I can roll new ones in. Next is lashes. So I have one glue, a glue backup, and then 2 like packs of lashes. So I count that as 4. 2 years ago I had 5 and my goal was 5. Honestly, I'm good with where I stand with lashes. I don't know when the last time I put lashes on was, probably my brother's wedding, which was in May of 2021. So it's rare these days, just special occasions, so I certainly don't need any more than I have right now. Eyeliner. So currently I have 8. 2 years ago I had 7 and my goal was 4. This is probably a category that could go down. Like, I do really love eyeliner and I do like the variety of eyeliners, but I do feel like I have a couple that basically look the same and don't necessarily need like 3 black eyeliners. I could probably just use 1. This is an area where I could use up what I have and not have to repurchase. But again, I'm not like mad at the fact that I have 7. Okay, next is mascara. Currently I have 7. A couple years ago I had 5 and my goal was 3. So I'd like to caveat this by saying only a couple of these are actually open. I just have mascara on backup. So with that being said, I'm very comfortable with 7 because I do like having mascara that I can just grab at any time when something dries out or anything like that. So I have purchased them on sales and stuff instead of paying full price, and so I'm good with 7. I mean, certainly wouldn't mind seeing it go down as I go through them. But like I said, because I purchased them on sale, that's why I have so many as backup. Next is brows. I have 4. 2 years ago I had 4 and my goal was 2. I'm very simple with my brows, so I'm like very good in terms of the variety that I have for my brows. I have a pencil, I have a gel, I have like the clear gel that I can use with a spoolie, I have like one of those little pens. Those 4, it's all I need. All right, and now we are moving into the lips portion of this video, which for some reason takes up what feels like the majority of my collection. So first up is lip gloss. I have 7, which is soon to be 6. If you're watching my project pan and you can see the one from Tarte Sugar Rush, it's like almost gone. 2 years ago at 8 and my goal was 6 to 7. I'm good with the number that I have. I think I can use some of the ones that I have up and I can repurchase if I really need to. Otherwise, I think I could see the number go down as well. Next is liquid lips. So right now I have 5. 2 years ago I had 5 and my goal was 5. I'm good with 5. I could see it go down, but I also really like the ones that I currently have, so that's good too. Lip liner, I have 6. 2 years ago I had 5 and my goal 2 years ago was also 5. To be perfectly honest, I don't use lip liner a lot, and so this is a category that I wouldn't mind seeing go down just because I don't really pull for them unless I'm wearing a red lip and then I put on a red lip liner, but otherwise like I forget that I even have them in my collection. So this is an area that I wouldn't mind seeing go down just because I don't make the effort to use them. Although maybe I should. Maybe I should move a lip liner into a project pan and then I could discover if I really actually just haven't had the practice or I don't actually like them. So maybe that's something I'll do. And this is why these videos are helpful, because I'm talking about like things I have in my collection that I never use, and I'm like, I should just pan them and decide if I actually like them or not. So I think I will do that. Next is lip balm. I have 2. 2 years ago I had 4 and my goal was 5. I'm good with 2. I keep 1 on my nightstand, I keep 1 in here, and then I'll just keep like a lip gloss in my purse. So I'm kind of good with covering the basis on lip balm and lip gloss. So I'm good with where I'm at there. Next is a lip crayon, and I have 2. 2 years ago I had 6 and my goal was 3. So I'm good with where I'm at there. It's kind of like how I feel. Just to me, they're basically just an extension of like my bullet lipsticks. So 2 is fine. And then speaking of bullet lipsticks, I have 24. 2 years ago I had 20 and my goal was 15. So here's another area where I wouldn't mind seeing the number go down, because bullet lipsticks are just so hard to work through. Like, they take forever. And so I try and use them as much as I can, but it's just like very time consuming to finish one. And so I wouldn't mind seeing the number go down just through actually using these up and moving them out of my collection. And that was the last category. Hi, editing me. I forgot to mention the total number of products in my collection. And so I added up all the different categories and we're sitting at 149. Like I said, my collection is not wild by any means. It's very curated, but I'm super happy with kind of where I stand in terms of all my makeup. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, just getting to see a little bit more from me in terms of where everything sits. And I think I'll film these on like a 6-month basis just to see if I'm kind of keeping on track or if I've decided to go off the rails and purchase a bunch of makeup, or if I've decided to declutter or finish makeup through my project pans and not repurchase. I think it's really just gonna depend on how I'm feeling, but of course, like I said, I'm very happy with where everything sits right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.